This is an emergency alert. We are now seeing the U.S. military and National Guard being deployed inside the United States. They are deploying CBRN units, and they are also activating Task Force 46 right now. We are also seeing in other states right near this, mass evacuations are happening, and hundreds of people have left their home. All right, so let's get into the details here really quick, guys. Please just hit it up for me down there. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. I'm bringing you guys this big urgent news every single day. Right, so this is big. What's going on? They are warning the general public not to panic. They're saying don't panic from this because hundreds of military personnel have been deployed, and we are also having mass evacuations. Okay, so let's dive into the details here really quick. Let's hit what's going on with the military being deployed, and then we will get into evacuations happening inside of Illinois, right near here. Okay, only 50 miles away. So this is what's happening currently. We are now seeing a major drill happen under Task Force 46, and this drill is preparing for a megaquake inside the United States along the new Madrid fault line. All right, this is big. This is happening right now from July 15th to July 17th. The U.S. military has hundreds of personnel in St. Louis right now, and they're preparing for a 8.4 magnitude earthquake along the new Madrid seismic fault line. All right, and if you remember, okay, there was actually a megaquake that happened there over 100 years ago. Okay, and reports are that the Mississippi River ran backwards, and that this shaking could be felt all the way in Washington, D.C. People were reporting this was such a big earthquake, and now they're simulating that this could be devastating, and they have deployed CBRN units, chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear personnel have been deployed as well under Task Force 46. All right, so here's the details here. And there's also mass evacuations happening right now 50 miles away in Nashville, Illinois, due to a major dam failure. Another dam failure somehow. All right, I'll get to more details of that in just a second. But you can see here, it says the City of St. Louis Emergency Management Agency, in collaboration with several city agencies, will participate in 3 days of disaster response training from July 15th to the 17th. The multi-day event allows local and military emergency responders to coordinate, deploy, and mitigate dangerous scenarios in the days after a catastrophic disaster. And if you remember too, the new Madrid fault line is exactly where this eclipse passed over too. Okay, so there was a very similar eclipse pattern in the 1800s where it did a X over the new Madrid fault line. Okay, and then it was almost a year later, they had these megaquakes. They had multiple of them. I believe there were 3 different ones that happened, months spread out, weeks spread apart. Okay, and now in April, we had a very similar solar eclipse pattern right over the new Madrid fault line as well. And now they're running this drill for some reason, simulating a 8.4 megaquake along this fault line. So this is why this is strange, and this should pique your interest, because this is the first time they've ever done this too and run this drill inside St. Louis. It says facilitated by Task Force 46 along with the Michigan National Guard in cooperation with the Missouri National Guard. The drills involve reconnaissance, urban search and rescue, mass casualty decontamination, and structural and infrastructure damage assessment in the vicinity of Busch Stadium and the Missouri River between Grafton and St. Charles. It says this exercise will be visible in downtown St. Louis, but the public is asked not to visit the drill area. Residents should avoid the A Street side of Busch Stadium, as A Street at Clark Street will be closed to traffic during daylight hours. It says motorists on Interstate 64-40 approaching Busch Stadium should be asked to take care and avoid distracted driving by military exercises and equipment. There will also be military vehicle traffic on Highway 55. It says the drill scenario involves a 8.4 magnitude earthquake along the new Madrid seismic fault. This is big, guys. This is what I've been warning about for months now. That potentially that we could see a quake along here. It's kind of unexpected. You expect it to hit the West Coast. You expect these megaquakes to hit there, but they're getting worried that there's going to be one in the middle of the country. And think of what it's going to do to St. Louis, to Tennessee, right? A lot of these major cities are going to have a lot of damage in them. The 3-day exercise will simulate a focused response to structural damage, civilian casualties, and chemical contamination in the vicinity of Busch Stadium during a baseball game. All right, so they're saying that this could happen during a baseball game too. And there's going to be a lot of destruction, so there's going to be chemical leaks. All right, and they're worried there could be explosions, fires, a lot of things in the aftermath, bridges completely destroyed, shutting down evacuation routes. All right, it says another focus area for the exercise includes multi-role bridge river crossings of the Missouri River due to notionally damaged bridges. Right? It also says the drill will involve approximately 500 individuals, including local emergency responders, military responders, hospitals, and volunteers. The exercise will use military helicopters and vehicles, damaged vehicles, and debris in multiple staging areas in the vicinity of Busch Stadium. It says based out of Lansing, Michigan, Task Force 46 is a National Guard element that is deployed to provide command and support of military response forces and support of civilian responders to manage catastrophic chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear incidents. This is the first time the St. Louis area has been chosen to host the full-scale exercise. All right? It says last year, Task Force 46 conducted a similar exercise in Nashville. It says these exercises are conducted with STARS, the St. Louis Area Regional Response Systems, which house within East-West Gateway Council of Governments. It says the STARS coordinates with emergency responders across local jurisdictions to enhance the region's capabilities to prevent, protect against, and respond to and recover from natural disasters, terror, and large-scale industrial accidents and hazards. Okay, so the main drill scenario for this event, though, was a 8.4 magnitude earthquake. Do you understand how devastating that would be for St. Louis? Right, it would completely destroy the city. The bridges would be destroyed. Right, St. Louis is kind of split in half. Right, and you got to cross the bridge to go to the other sides of it. I've been there before, and the cities would be split in half. Right, these bridges would be destroyed. That's what they're simulating, and also lots of disasters in the aftermath of it. All right, potentially nuclear meltdowns as well for power plants that could be damaged in the area as well. Look at Fukushima in Japan. This happened a decade ago now. A major earthquake hit right where the reactors are. Okay? And they are still dealing with this crisis right now. There's still leaks that are happening and releases that are happening from Fukushima. They actually just did one maybe 6 months ago. They did another release. Okay? And China has actually banned certain fish products from Japan, and they're stating that it's due to contamination. All right, so we could see something similar to that as well. And one way to be prepared and preventative in these situations is to have some type of air filter on your AC system, okay? And if you don't have AC or an HVAC system, then you can get some kind of standalone, very low micron filter, Okay, you want to have as low as possible microns so you can filter out as much, the smallest particulate and smallest particles possible, because you're not dealing with germs or things like that can be larger, can be captured. You're dealing with individual particles at this level. So you need to have the best filters you can have, and maybe actually have a carbon layer to the filter as well. Okay, they have filters, or you can just buy 2 different ones and layer them, where it has a carbon scrubber layer on it as well to capture things like VOCs, volatile organic compounds. So if you're in this area, you need to be on high alert. Okay, also 50 miles away, there's also mass evacuations going on from major dam failure in Nashville, Illinois. Okay, not Nashville, Tennessee. It's not even far from Nashville still. It's maybe hours away. But you can see here, it says homes in a small city in southern Illinois, Nashville, were evacuated Tuesday morning when a nearby dam overtopped and flooded as heavy rain swamped the area. This is just 50 miles away from St. Louis, Missouri. All right, so at the same time the military is here preparing for one of these major disasters, there is a major disaster happening 55 miles away. All right, and we keep seeing these dam failures over and over and over. What's going on? Every single week there's a new dam failure. How is this possible? It's getting kind of suspicious. It's like when all these trains were derailing and exploding every single week with, very toxic chemicals and things on them. What's going on here? All right, now we're seeing dam failures. Is this a new sabotage? All right, America's infrastructure is being sabotaged from the inside out. All right, we know this has been going on for years now. Not saying that this is what this is. It's also crumbling and falling apart because trillions of dollars have been squandered. All right, we should have been building back better. Right? What happened to build back better? Trillions and trillions of dollars to rebuild our infrastructure. Nothing's gotten better near me. The roads are falling apart. All right, everything's just getting worse. All the infrastructure is falling apart. I see power lines that are all wonky and sideways and almost about to fall over. Right? I see them with giant trees hanging on them and stuff all over the place. Infrastructure has not been updated like it should have been with the trillions and trillions of dollars that have been spent. Where did it go? All right, let's get into more details of this. Local emergency officials in Nashville, Illinois, earlier Tuesday had warned of, quote, imminent dam failure after heavy rain hit the area overnight. How does this keep happening? Right, we keep having these 100-year floods and these imminent dam failures getting destroyed left and right. And this also destroys a lot of power for people. A lot of times these are hydroelectric dams that never get rebuilt. And it's also destroying homes and communities where they're built near these dams and now they're flooded out. Right, it says evacuations were completed by early afternoon, Tuesday afternoon. This video is being filmed Tuesday night. This is according to the county's emergency management agency spokesperson, Alex Hugland. He also said 299 phones in the area received the evacuation order. So got it on their phone. And it says about 200 residents fled their homes. As of 1 p.m., the region has received more than 6 inches of rain. Quote, the area evacuated is in a flood drainage path extended to the south and west from the reservoir. The agency initially published a post on Facebook Tuesday morning warning residents of, quote, that the failure of the Nashville City Reservoir Dam was imminent, urging residents to, quote, evacuate now. Right? So they're telling people, get out of here. You need to listen. These floodwaters they can rise so quick, way faster than you think. Okay, you think you have time, you think, oh, I can see it. I can see the water. We can drive out of here last minute if we need to. A lot of times this stuff happens quick, especially if there's a dam failure, because it's not just water accumulating. Now there's a giant lake, right outside the city of Nashville in Illinois. And this dam, so the city's here, the lake's over here, and the dam is right here holding the water back from the lake, and the city's right here. So this dam is failing and breaching right now, and all this water is rushing into the city and flooding people's homes. And if it collapses quickly, right, it seems like a slow motion failure right now, but if it all just gives out at once, this city can be flooded extremely quickly. The water levels can rise very fast, and you might not have time to actually evacuate or get out of there once the dam actually does give way, actually does fail, right? You can see here it also says Washington County first responders work to evacuate some residents from their homes, with some residents reporting water inside as high as waist level. Right? See, your truck's not driving that. Maybe if you have like a giant truck with a snorkel on it, when you go mudding out in the swamp and you got one of those trucks, okay, maybe you can get through. But most cars, 99.9% of cars, are not getting through waist level high water. Right? It's going to destroy the engine. You're going to be sucking in water. Right? You're not even going to have enough air. And you're going to get stuck anyways, and then you're going to be out there in the middle of that water just waiting for it to recede. Right? So people didn't evacuate, and now they're stuck. Right? And thankfully emergency responders are helping them, because sometimes when situations are really bad, the storm is really bad, they will not help you if they already told you to evacuate. A lot of times the emergency responders will not respond after they've given orders and you did not listen. Okay? But if the storm has subsided and it's mostly just flooding now that they're dealing with, they probably will help people. It says one resident trapped inside a home required a water rescue. As of 1 p.m., there's no death or injury reported. It says travel is restricted on all county roads, and people who are not required to evacuate are being asked to stay home and stay off the roads. All right, so they're giving stay-at-home orders as well, and also telling people to stay off the roads, right? Because this is a live situation. This dam could fail at any moment, and you could get trapped in certain areas as well too, right? And I've never evacuated personally for any of these situations, right? I've been through a dozen hurricanes, okay? But we've never evacuated personally, but we were also never in a flood zone. Our house was actually kind of at the top of this hill. Like, our road was kind of a little hill, okay? And we were kind of right in the middle at the top, so we were always high enough where we never had flooding. Our road never had flooding or anything like that most of the time, right? I actually lived in one house that was way closer to the water that wasn't a flood zone for a couple years, and it was actually on stilts, okay? And that house flooded all the time. The road would just flood out, and the only way to leave sometimes would be to have a little canoe, little kayak. Our neighbor had one and would always zoom out on that, right? But there was no way out of there, right? The road was completely flooded out. It was all the way up to our driveway, okay? We had to park our cars up underneath the house. The house was kind of up on a hill too, the driveway and everything, and then on stilts. And the water would be, pretty far up the driveway, right? Getting up onto the carport part, right? And during really bad, like things like hurricanes and stuff like that, it can push the water up. People were telling me that water's been up there underneath the stilts, right under it, right? So listen to these warnings. You don't want to be... I've never evacuated personally, okay? But we assessed our situation. But if you're not going to be able to handle this, you need to get out of Nashville right now and listen to these evacuation orders. So let me know what you guys think about this. All right, The military National Guard is actually only 55 miles away, right? Kind of wild. And they are preparing for a 8.4 megaquake, right? And everyone was like, this guy's crazy. What's this guy talking about? These earthquakes in April, when I was talking about this, and was just like, look, this is what happened over 100 years ago in the 1800s, okay, late 1800s. There was a solar eclipse that went right over the New Madrid fault line, and then it had 2-3 massive earthquakes that hit. So, and that was before these cities were built, right? There wasn't a big St. Louis. And Missouri actually has a nuclear power plant right outside of St. Louis, okay, right west of it, okay, maybe 50 miles west of St. Louis. And also Illinois has one too, just east of it, right? Because St. Louis is kind of in both states, and there are power plants, nuclear power plants, on both sides of St. Louis, Missouri, and Illinois, and on the Missouri side, right? Both 20 to 50 miles right outside the city, okay? And Illinois actually has 11 power plants as well. Just Illinois, nuclear power plants. So if we did see a major earthquake in this region, it would not be good, all right? And to put that into perspective, Illinois has 11. And they have 11 nuclear power reactors, okay? 6 nuclear power stations. But to put that into perspective, California only has one. California has one power plant in the whole state. And Virginia, nuclear, or actually, sorry, not Virginia, Washington, okay? I got mixed up, and Washington only has one as well. So those are the only two along the West Coast. There's one in California, and there's one in Washington. But then there's 11 stations in Illinois, or 11 reactors, sorry about that, at 6 different stations in Illinois, right? It's a lot. There's only one in Missouri, one in Arkansas, one in Kansas, one in Nebraska, just 2 in Texas. There's only 2 in Texas, all right? But Illinois has 6 different stations and 11 reactors. It's a lot. So if something did happen there, this entire region might be completely contaminated, right? Completely destroyed. And this could be why they're running this major simulation, because they've run the data too. They've run the simulations, they've run the drills, they've run it through the computers, okay? And that's probably how they determine where to do this next, right? Because they probably think, where's the next highest risk city that we need to do these drills in and get prepared for. All right, so thank you guys. Please hit it up for me down there. It helps to get these warnings out so people know they're getting ready for a 8.4 megaquake on the New Madrid fault line. All right, so thank you guys. Hope you have big blessings for your life, your family, and I hope you have a big old blessed day.